Good evening, Toastmasters and guests worldwide. My name is Toastmaster Trevon Paul, Sergeant at Arms here at the Police Dynamic Enforcers Club 703-1743. Bow your heads with me as we pray. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for letting us see another day. Thank you for bringing us to meeting safely. I ask that you continue to guide and protect us through the rest of the day. Forgive us of all our sins. Help us to become better leaders, sharper Toastmasters, and better communicators. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Amen. Please stand for our national anthem.
It's better.
Okay, I guess we're having some technical difficulties there. You'd say the pledge. I pledge my allegiance to the flag and to the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, for which it stands, one people, united in love and solidarity.
Lift up your head to the rising sun, Bahamaland. March on to glory, your bright banners waving high. See how the world marks the manner of your bearing. Pledge to excel through love and unity. Pressing onward, march together to a common loftier goal. Steady sunward, though the weather hide the wide and treacherous shore. Lift up your head to the rising sun, Bahamaland. Till the road you trod lead unto your God. March
At this time, I would like to introduce our president. He is no stranger to Toastmasters. His name is Distinguished Toastmaster Leonardo Burrows.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sergeant at Arms, and to everyone joining us from around the world. Welcome to the Bahamas by way of District 47. This is a hybrid experience, and it is our pleasure to have you join us today. The Bahamas is an archipelago of islands, 700 islands and keys. New Providence, where we are, is not the only one. And just to welcome you a bit, we are the Police Dynamic Enforcers Toastmasters Club. We are a law enforcement Toastmasters Club. One of our members is here to greet us and officially welcome you. I know you're feeling welcome a bit, so we welcome at this time to welcome us, Chief Superintendent Damian Robinson. Let's give it up for him, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are around the world. Welcome to the Bahamas Experience. I am Toastmaster Damian Robinson, Chief Superintendent of Police. Like our president said, we are a law enforcement club, and I just want to welcome you all. It's good to be in the land of the sun, sand, and sea, and to welcome you all during this festive Christmas season, and to say we hope you enjoy the ride from the whistles, the cowbell, the goat skin drum of our national festival, Jonkanu. We want to say welcome, Bienvenido. Thank you, and have a blessed experience. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Robertson. In the Bahamas, we are an accommodating people. We like to have fun. We like to enjoy ourselves. We are people who love to entertain. We are a hospitable people. Coming to welcome you a little bit further and bring greetings during this festive time of year is some of our leaders, our district leaders, and they will come in this order. And our district leaders, while they're on, our area director will bring greetings, and she will introduce our district director. Our district director will bring greetings, and she will introduce our international director. Let's give it up for them, please.
Yes, welcome world. Welcome to the sunny Isles of the Bahamas. I am Area 63, Area Director Yvonne Paul. This here is my home club, and we're so happy that you can join us here during this holiday season. Area 63 is comprised of 5 clubs. You see, we're a melting pot of sorts. Here in Area 63, we have persons who are law enforcement officers, like the Police Dynamic Enforcers Toastmasters Club. We have persons who are a part of the insurance board, such as the FG Knights. We also have a community club called the Pinewood Trendsetters. Hey, Pinewood! And we have a family of performers in the Dynamic Persuaders. And how can I forget our bankers? I see you, Fidelity Toastmasters of distinction. One thing about Division F Area 63, we believe in the 3 Fs. The 3 Fs are fun, fabulous, and family. And that's what we are. So we're so happy that you Toastmasters around the globe can join us here as we welcome you into our family of Area 63. Distinguished Toastmaster Barbara Stratus, who is the District Director for District 47, I now yield the lectern to you.
Thank you, Area Director Ivanka Paul. It is my pleasure to be here this afternoon. Good afternoon. Hello, Police Dynamic Enforcers Club. Distinguished Toastmasters and Toastmasters around the world. It is my pleasure to be part of this worldwide 24-hour Toastmaster meeting, celebrating you and Toastmaster clubs around the world. What an out-of-the-box and innovative initiative. Congratulations to the organizers of this event. This is exactly what we need this year. And those creative ideas must continue to flow and be shared with others. You know, the world is in a virtual Zoom environment. And yes, there are many superb benefits, like visiting other clubs that we're doing today, visiting lands that we may never get to in our lives, less travel and expenses, and learning how to present in a square box. As many companies are using this format every day to interview and hire potential employees. Yes, so many of us are missing our in-person contact meeting. So it is up to the leaders here today to inspire their club members to think out of this square frame. with ways to entice new members to join us. As a member for 21 years, I could never think about leaving Toastmasters. You are my family. You make me smile and cry with your stories. You are my brothers and sisters around the global earth. I consider my membership as a gift. I hope you do as well. It is time for you to share your gift with your friends, your colleagues, your family. I encourage each of you to reach out to those who have not renewed their membership, to ask others to come to your meeting, to schedule online youth leadership programs, to introduce Toastmasters to our future generation, and to organize speechcrafts with businesses. You can share this gift and receive so much back in return. Let's make the most of this current situation, as we know this too shall pass. Happy holidays to all of you. Wishing you a healthy and safe, blessed new year and season, and things will get better. It is now my pleasure to introduce our International Director from Region 8, the distinguished Roy Ganga.
Thank you very much, Madam District Director, District 47. Seasoned greetings around the world, and especially to my Bahamian friends. And Police Dynamic Enforcers Club. I got to get that right because Leonardo is going to hold me to that one. Good afternoon. This is an exciting opportunity for members across the globe to be inspired, and at the same time, share their experiences and learn and grow. 2020 has been an unprecedented year for all of us. We have been self-isolating, away from our families, away from our colleagues, caring for family members, and worrying about what is going on in our communities. The seasons came and went. People got married, children were born, and we even lost friends and loved ones. But the situation remains the same. When will it end? Hopefully very soon, because the vaccine is already here. This year was touted as the year where our vision would be clear and bright. You remember that 2020 vision they talk about? Where did that go? In 18 days, 2020 will be over. And looking back, we forced to adapt to new ways of living, which has challenged many of us. Some of us adapted well, while others are still struggling to adapt to the challenges this pandemic has created, financially, morally, and mentally. Each of us is managing through this crisis in different ways. Frustration, moments of depression, loneliness, technology burnout. Oh my God, this Zoom is going to kill us because we're doing it every day. Human interaction, vacation deprivation. A lot of us want to put our feet on that sand in the beaches. We want to come to the Bahamas and much more, which is causing us to challenge ourselves to do things that we normally would not do. Even if you have been a work-at-home person, as I am, and you are experiencing this burnout, let's look at the bright side. And some of you may be saying there, what is he talking about? Where's the bright side? Well, out of every crisis, there are some opportunities. And in the midst of change, new approaches are required. This pandemic made us more resilient, more compassionate, and creative. And let's be honest with ourselves. It made some of us more grumpy. It made our local and global connections even more possible. with the use of technology, like what we're doing here today. We can now participate in joint meetings with clubs from across the world, things that were impossible 7 months ago. We can conduct joint club speakerthons within our districts. Now, we find ourselves leveraging skills through a crisis, skills we did not yet think we mastered, and using our discomfort to forge a new paradigm. Being a better listener is one of those critical skills which we will need to master, because as we know in Toastmasters, it's not only about speaking, it involves listening and being empathetic through feedback. Listening is a powerful skill. These days, we need to show our caring and empathetic side. When last have you picked up the phone and called a fellow member in your club just to find out how they are doing, how they are managing in this crisis? This holiday season, let us make it a priority for those of us who can do it. Reach out to someone and put a smile on their face. You would be amazed the positive impact that will have on that individual. Be present and let's stay engaged and resilient. The empathy towards our members was clearly demonstrated by our Toastmasters International President, Richard Peck, when he offered every single member a free path to take advantage of this opportunity to expand your personal development. This is not the year to get everything you want. This is the year to appreciate everything you have. Keep forging forward, my friends. Better days will soon be here. Thank you for this opportunity to speak with you. Happy holidays. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay positive. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. International Director. And by the sound of things, you would believe that 1,000 people are in this room, but we are 6 and strong in this hybrid experience. And it's still better in the Bahamas. It is better.
It's better in the Bahamas. Romance all the day. All the hideaways for the lazy days. All the nights the people play. Ooh la la la, ooh la la. It's better in the Bahamas.
For a limited time, get a free companion airfare. Call 1-800-BAHAMAS or visit Bahamas.com. Minimum stay, taxes, fees, and restrictions apply.
Thank you very much. We are always open to our guests from around the world. What I need you to do for me is, if you haven't already done so, please tell us where you are visiting us from, which country and which club we'd like to know. You can utilize the chat at this time. We have a treat for you. The Royal Bahamas Police Force, we brag about our Royal Bahamas Police Force Band, which has traveled extensively around the world and to almost every continent of the world. We will give you a taste of that sound shortly. But before we do that, I would like to take this opportunity to invite our general evaluator, Toastmaster Derek Smith, to introduce participants who will tell us about their roles.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, once again, welcome to the sunny isles of the Bahamas. I am Toastmaster Derek Garcia Roll, the General Evaluator for this morning, and I am accompanied by a team of qualified individuals to evaluate our proceedings today. My role as General Evaluator is to give a general overview of the entire meeting. I have 3 very important role takers to this morning. First, I'd like to call on our timer to explain his role, followed by our counter, and then our grammarian.
Mr. General Evaluator, Distinguished Toastmaster Price Polonese from Division A in District 47. And my role today is to keep the time for our prepared speech, our table topics, and our evaluation. At the minimum time, I'll be showing the green background, and mid-time, I'll be showing the yellow background, and at the maximum time, I'll be showing you the red background to keep us on track and make our meeting even more enjoyable. Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Distinguished Toastmaster Polonese. Our counter, Toastmaster Trevon Paul.
The role of the counter is to just keep track of the pause fillers, such as you, and repetitiveness, such as you know.
Our grammarian, Toastmaster L. Robert Knowles.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. I am your grammarian and the lexicologist for this afternoon or this morning, according to your time zones. And as I share my screen, yes, as I say, I am Toastmaster L. Robert Knowles, your grammarian and lexicologist. And the purpose of a grammarian is to monitor the use of language at each meeting. Also as well as to present the word of the day and to ensure and to encourage all participants to utilize the word. And the word of the day students and technical difficulties. Yes, that's the role of the lexicologist and grammarian, to pay close attention to all speakers, take note of any improper language as well as any outstanding words, quotes, sayings, or thoughts, and to introduce the word of the day. Without further delay, screen is freezing up.
Thank you. You can go ahead and share the word, and we'll take it from there.
Okay. The word is falernum. Falernum. Can would anyone like to give the meaning of this word? It is a noun, and is, of course, is pronounced falernum.
Toastmaster Robinos, can you share the spelling of that word for us? We are unable to see the screen.
Oh, you can't. Wow.
Okay, I think we got you.
Along. Okay, 1 second. I thought it was sharing all that long. Okay. Wow. Can you see now?
No, just go ahead and spell the word for us, please.
That would be F A L E R N U M. I'm typing in the chat. And the definition, of course, is used for sweet, white flavoring syrup of low alcoholic content, often used as a cocktail or ingredients. Cocktail ingredient. And I have a sample sentence for you. Christmas meals are further complete with holiday drinks that include sorrel, mobby, sweet potato fly, or a fermented drink, falernum, shandy, rum, and wines. Thank you. Thank you for your attention. And like I said, as the grammarian, I will pay attention to all speakers, listening to all their language usage, as well as those, and I encourage you to utilize the word falernum during this meeting. Thank you. Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. Let's give our lexicologist or word master. And in the Bahamas, we use lexicologist and word master because some of us, we backdating Toastmasters 30, 40, even 50 years. Excellent. Remember, I promised you a treat from the world-renowned Royal Bahamas Police Force Band. Please sit back, relax, and you can get up out of your seats if you want to and enjoy our band. We are very much proud of the Royal Bahamas Police Force Band. So this is a treat for all of our visitors from around the world. Thank you very much. Let's give it up one more time for the world-renowned Royal Bahamas Police Force Band. This is Holiday in the Bahamas, where we enjoy ourselves, and we love our country and we love our district. District 47 is the district that we are part of, and that includes all of the Toastmasters clubs in Southeast Florida and the Bahamas. But just to get some more of you involved in this affair, I welcome at this time our Table Topics Master. And for those of you who love things, and in the Bahamas, our vocabulary is somewhat different sometimes, and the grammarian will fault me for this one. We say things.
Thanks.
But it's things, but we say things. That's a Bahamian word for today, things. So please welcome with our table topics, our table topics master, who is also a police officer, and he is geared up and ready. Please don't let him startle you, because in the Bahamas, they make a lot of noise sometimes. So please welcome at this time our table topics master, Toastmaster Ryan McPhee.
Yes.
That's junk canoe or that's junk, Mr. President? Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and most distinguished guests. As you can see, I am doing the social thing. The role of the table topics master is to ask a series of impromptu, lighthearted questions to all of our fellow Toastmasters, most of our Toastmasters, and some of our guests. You have the opportunity to answer within 30 seconds to 1 minute. I repeat, 30 seconds to 1 minute. In the Bahamas, Christmas is the most wonderful time of the year. Don't you all agree?
Yes.
Please tell us some of the dishes my family could look forward to eating at your home. Toastmaster, Area Director, Paul, welcome on Chicago.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Table Topics Master, for that question. What could your family look forward to at my home?
Yes, please tell me.
Well, let me let you know first and foremost, we do not bake a turkey at my house. We fry the turkey. That's right, the whole turkey is fried inside that deep fryer. Furthermore, think of the honey glazed ham. Finger looking good. KFC has nothing on us. Then when it comes to the collard greens, and we have that, not just any stuffing, we have stuffing made out of core fish. My mother would be proud of me. And the macaroni and cheese.
Macaroni.
It's cheesy good. Mr. Table Topics Master, did I tell you about the crab and rice? Oh, you know nothing about our crab and rice. Because in that crab and rice, do we not only use crab fat, but we also use lobster fat. Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you. Our famous Bahamian group sang the hit song, Who Let the Dogs Out? In 10 seconds, let me hear in your best, your absolute best karaoke voice. Our guest, distinguished Toastmaster, Barbara Stratus. Let's welcome her. Hi, Barbara, are you there? All right. Brooks from Jupiter, Florida, our guest. Who let the dogs out?
No, I'm saying it. She's unmuted now.
Unmuting. Okay.
All right.
I've got 3 dogs, so who let the dogs out? It's me. Like every night at 11 o'clock and at 12 o'clock and at 1 o'clock in the morning. So who lets the dogs out all the time? It's me. Nobody else wants to take on that wonderful duty. So who let the dogs out? They don't tell me when they want to go out. They tell everybody when they want to go out. Woof, 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 woof. Okay, Table Topics Master. That was my rendition of Who Let the Dogs Out.
All right, very good. Give a big round of applause up. If you had the opportunity to sit down with any person in the whole world, who would that individual be and why? Our guest, Brooks from Jupiter, Florida. Give it up for Brooks.
I just did the dogs out. You all
Oh, that was Brooks? Oh, I thought that was Stratus. I do apologize. I'll give that to Andre Kelly. Give it up for Andre.
Thank you so much, Mr. Table Topics Master, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, fellow Toastmasters from around the world. Wow, if I had one person to sit down with, that will possibly be John C. Maxwell. And the reason why is because he is the master of leadership. He's definitely a mentor and someone that I would hope to glean more from in regards to wisdom and understanding of leadership. Thank you so much, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Andre. Awesome. To whom much is given, much is required. Our guests, Lions. Give it up for Lions. Lyons. Where are you? I know you're there. All right, we just give her just 3 more seconds. 1, 2, 3. Once again, to whom much is given, much is required. Toastmaster Damian Robinson.
Good afternoon, Mr. Table Topics Master. And yes, what an excellent question. To whom much is given, much is required. I must say that gleaning from my Father in heaven, Lord Jesus Christ, who's the head of my life, he has given me much. And because of the gift that he has given me, I will not hide my talent. I will sow it so that I can reap and that others can see my talent. So never let your talent go to waste. When you use it, it will come back tenfold. So I'm required to continue to show the world, to show everyone that the Lord my Father has given me many talents, and I will continue to share it with the world. Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you very much. Junkanoo is our culture. Junkanoo is who we are. Junkanoo is who you are. Junkanoo was canceled due to COVID-19, but that's not a problem. But I want to ask this question. Because Junkanoo was canceled due to COVID-19, who would be victorious? Who would have been victorious? And could you show us why? Distinguished Toastmaster Leonardo Burrows. Could you show us how to say count? Yes.
Thank you very much.
Who in the morning?
Mr. Table Topics Master. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with our culture, we make noise with cowbells and goatskin drums. Well, I am a Saxon superstar, and if I were you, because I'm the president, you should be a Saxon because of the president.
Wow. Yes!
Outside of that, this makes a nice pulsating sound. And for us Saxons,
yes,
we are the best group with the best group of people, like we are in Toastmasters, the best group of people in the world. Now, I don't have all day to give you the full version of it, but just a taste and a tease.
Yes.
Because that's what we Saxons do. What's the table topic, Master?
In the Bahamas, we say, who in the morning? Someone say, Saxon! Yes, thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Leonardo Barros. Do you think your vote matters? Why or why not? Our guest, Cynthia D. Williams, District 18. Right. Okay, we'll give Cynthia 2 more seconds.
Can you hear me?
All right, we can hear you loud and clear, Cynthia.
Woo! Wow, what an honor. Table Topics Master, all the way from to the Bahamas. It's the district director coming from D18. Do you think your vote matters, and why or why not? Everyone votes matters. Yes, I do believe that everyone, and mine, of course, vote matters. Why? Because it is our right. It is a privilege to be able to stand on the shoulders of our foundation who set it and set the tone and for us to have this privilege, have this right to be able to vote. So yes, our vote matters. Our vote matters because it speaks volumes when we step up, speak up, and vote. So yes, our vote matters because our voice counts. Table Topics Master, Bahamas, woo!
Thank you so much, Cynthia, thank you. Sports keep us in shape mentally and physically. If you were a professional athlete, what sport would you play and for which team? I would refer this question to District 18, Jasmine Smith. Are you there, Jasmine?
Oh, did you say Jasmine Smith?
Yes, Jasmine Smith.
Okay.
You won.
Yes. Thank you for that question. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Sports keep us in shape mentally and physically. If you were a professional athlete, what sports would you play and for which team? I would certainly be an athlete, like Usain Bolt, and of course, Shauna from Bahamas. I would run for Jamaica. I think we have a very good program, very good athletes, camaraderie is great. So yes, I would be an athlete and I would run and represent my country, Jamaica. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster, Table Topics Master of the Day.
Thank you. I should ask that question in terms of the food. Oh, I like myself some Jamaican food. But if you went back in time, what advice would the old you give the younger you, and why? Toastmaster Indira Adderley.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can.
Loud and clear.
Wonderful. If I were to go back in time and give advice to me now, I would say be your authentic you, regardless of what anyone else might think or feel about who you are. You will come into an individual that you will come to love and people will come to respect. So be you, regardless of how you may be different than others. Just be you. Table Talks Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Indira Adderley. Thank you. Yes. Which movie actor best describes you? Distinguished Toastmaster Davis. Let's refer that question.
Did you call my name?
Yes, I did.
Oh, thank you.
You won the
Thank
lucky vote.
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master, and your fabulous regalia outfit there.
You like? You like? Thank you.
Which movie actor best describes you and why? Well, I would have to say that it would have to be a combination of more than one. When you look at my resume, it looks as if it belongs to 7 different people because I have a great interest in creative arts like pottery and writing, and it jumps from there to teaching yoga and opening yoga ashrams in Hawaii. So I would have to create an imaginary actor or actress, one that was mentally curious and one that was also creative and also one that loved Mother Nature. I think Mother Nature is our best, always our best source of healing and tranquility. And during this time, I think we need that very much.
Yes.
So I just saw in chat, someone wished they had got this question. I would like to hear, because I don't know that person, what their answer would have been. But there's no one actor or actress that I admire in such a way that I would want to be them. But I think it's a great question, as have all of your other ones. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. A lot of times persons say that I look like Denzel. All right? Thank you, right? Yeah. Yeah. All right. What is your greatest strength and greatest weakness? Toastmaster Michael Brown.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tabletop
Mike.
Master. My greatest strength and greatest weakness. That's certainly a challenging thing to consider. I think my first and strongest strength would probably be my openness to learn and to grow, and organizing this Toastmasters around the world celebration involving 12 different countries on 6 continents has given me more learning and makes me hungry for even more. So for me, I think that's one of my strengths, is that constant curiosity and desire to learn and continue growing through my whole life. In terms of weakness, I think for me, my weakness, I was reminded of a little bit earlier in our Brazilian meeting, actually, by one of the members who had private messaged me from Montreal in Canada. They asked me if I could attend a Toastmasters meeting in French. I live in Canada, and unfortunately, I did not pick up French, even though it was taught to us in school. So for me, I look at that as one of my weaknesses. I can learn languages relatively quickly, but I didn't learn French when I was in school. And I look at that as a weakness because we are a bilingual country in Canada. And when I traveled to Quebec, I felt very embarrassed that I couldn't share in their local language. So strength is my desire to continue learning, but there is a little bit of weakness to that in that I didn't pick up French when I had the great chance to. Back to you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Michael Brown, with your greatest strengths and weaknesses. Thank you. Mr. Table Chair, fellow Toastmasters and guests, it was a plum pleasing pleasure, like Les Brown would say, to be your Table Topics Master for this evening. Do enjoy. Bye-bye. Let me see if I can say that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Table Topics Master. And for those of you Toastmasters or guests who would have been traveling around the world from this event started, I'm pretty sure if you were dozing off and you were asleep, that you are awake by now. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, there's a lot that we celebrate in the Bahamas when it comes to Christmas. Good food, good fellowship, family, friends, good music, and all of the such. But at this time, it gives me great pleasure as we move into our speaking segment. And we have 3 prepared speakers who are eager and excited to treat you to what it is that they have to say this afternoon. Our first speaker, she's speaking on level 2, a pathways presentation mastery. A time frame is 5 to 7 minutes. Her objectives are simply this: is to deliver a speech with the awareness of the intentional and unintentional practices using her body language. She is a member of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, and she is one of our senior administrative assistants as a civilian. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, please welcome our first presenter for today, this afternoon, and to get things rolling, speaking on the topic, a season of celebration, please welcome distinguished Toastmaster Charmaine Goodman Davis.
Good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, fellow Toastmasters. It is certainly my pleasure to be here with you today. A season of celebration. Welcome to the Bahamas. Today, I intend to share with you how a typically traditional Christmas season is here in the Bahamas. Now, Christmas for most of us begins immediately after Thanksgiving. While Thanksgiving may be a grander affair in the US and other countries, it is the significant indication for Bahamians that it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. And so how do we spend the period leading into December 25th itself? Well, first of all, on December 24th, known as Christmas Eve, the majority of us, because we are a Christian nation, find ourselves in a church or in some environment where there is prayer, there is meditation, there is giving alms, there is celebrating the real reason for the season. And so we go to the church of our choice, we share with our fellow parishioners, we read scriptures, and we have a really uplifting, happy occasion to celebrate, which is for us, the birth of Jesus Christ. And so we spend those hours leading into Christmas appreciating that this Christ child was born to save our sins. And we make no exceptions when it comes to worshiping here in the Bahamas at Christmas time, as well as other times throughout the year. So I have noticed that over the years at my church, the numbers intensified during that period. And you know, we're grateful for that, simply because if an individual knows that this is the place he or she should be, that's a good thing. Wouldn't you agree? There's nothing wrong with coming together and worshiping and fellowshipping, as well as giving thanks and praise where thanks and praise should be given. And so certainly church is an ideal way to kick off that celebration of the season. Where do we go from there? We go home, and for those of us who have households, we have to maintain and ensure that everything else falls in line. We begin the arduous hours of preparing this meal. And believe me, fellow Toastmasters and guests, it's no common meal. It's definitely no common meal. We prepare the 7, the 8, and possibly the 9 type course meals for our families, where we take all precaution to ensure that everything is scrumptious, everything is tasty, everything just makes you want to have more than you should. A little footnote here, a lot of us do indulge in more than we should, but it comes around once a year and it incorporates our families, sometimes immediate families, sometimes extended families. It is a generally happy time. And in this world, we never know when we're going to be thrown a curveball. And so I would admonish all of us, whenever there is an opportunity to be happy, be happy. Not at somebody else's expense, mind you, but generally be happy, because there are going to be times when we're possibly not as happy as we'd like to be. So take advantage of sitting around the table with the children, the in-laws, the parents, the cousins. Bring everybody in and have a good time. Once we would have had the meal, well, here in the Bahamas, there's a term we use that we call niggeritis. And though you may not be able to relate to it, I'm going to give you its definition. Niggeritis is when you would have consumed so much food that the only thing left to do is sleep. And so you've been given an additional word, though not in the lexicologist or word master session. Say niggeritis when you've had your Christmas meal. It's when you have consumed a whole lot of food, possibly too much, and the only thing you want to do is what? Sleep. Okay, so now once we would have gone and we would have worshiped to set the tone for the season, then we've gone and we've had our family time, we've eaten, we've drunk, we've had a whole lot of time, not drunk as intoxicated now, consumed beverages is what I'm referring to. We've had a good time, we're happy, we're content. Now we need to burn off some of that food before we have to go to sleep. What do we do? Well, you've been introduced to some of what we do. Most of us do, and we look forward to all year long. We prepare for our cultural festival that we call Junkanoo. Say it with me, non-Bahamians. Junkanoo. Let's say it all together. Junkanoo. What do we do at Junkanoo? Our table topics master showed you a little bit of it. Our president showed you a little bit of it. Guess what? You're going to get to see a whole lot more a little later on. But Junkanoo is a cultural festival in the Bahamas, and we look forward to it. While it is a competitive sport of sorts, it's a fun environment. There's dancing, there's singing, and believe me when I tell you, there is a kaleidoscope of color during Junkanoo. Fellow Toastmasters, prospective Toastmasters, a season of celebration, including worship, food, and Junkanoo. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. All of that talk about food has made me hungry. Speaking about that, and as we celebrate the holidays, we are just grateful to have Toastmasters, visitors, and guests from all around the world. We're happy to have all of our friends and family members in District 47, and by extension, other districts in the USA. We're also happy to have Africa joining us, Kenya and other countries in Africa, Canada, Ireland, Jamaica, India. And if I miss anyone, please slip that note in the chat so that I can rectify and remedy this small matter before we conclude. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our second prepared presenter for today. She is actually on her level 5 in the Pathways Path Dynamic Leadership. her elective lessons learned. She's also speaking on a time frame of 5 to 7 minutes. This Toastmaster has the objectives to learn about and apply the skills needed to run a presentation, and also utilize those skills so that the audience can have a better understanding of what she learned as an effective speaker. She is a specialist in the Royal Bahamas Police Force attached to the forensic lab. She is also Assistant Superintendent of Police and one of my bosses. So I have to really pretty up this introduction so that it can go well for me. You understand? Please welcome at this time, Toastmaster Sharia King.
The unique Bahamian cultural experience, the one that Bahamian locals anticipate twice a year. This is when downtown Bay Street, Nassau, Bahamas, comes alive with Junkanoo. Mr. Chair, Junkanoo, a Bahamian national festival similar to, yet better than, the Carnival of Trinidad and Tobago or the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade. It's a melody of colors and sound. The pulsating sound of the goatskin drum, cowbells, whistles, accompanied by a collection of brass instruments, creates a sweet musical beat of which you just cannot stand still. While brilliant colored costumes capture your eyes and brings an individual visual enjoyment. The Junkanoo parades take place during the early morning hours of 1 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Boxing Day, which is the day after Christmas and New Year's morning. Although the roots of the Junkanoo parade still remains a long and passionate debate, what is agreed upon is that after decades, this cultural experience have become a profound, entertaining street carnival for not only the Bahamas, but worldwide. One debate says that the Junkanoo festival or tradition got started by a gentleman by the name of John Canoe, a West African prince known for his outsmarting the English and was celebrated as a local hero. More popular debate, however, is that Junkanoo progressed from the days of slavery, where the Loyalists migrated to the Bahamas in the late 18th century and brought with them their African slaves. These slaves, during the Christmas, were given 3 days off, which they celebrated by traveling from one house to the next, singing and dancing in colorful masks and costumes. The revitalization of this festival in the Bahamas now provides entertainment for many of thousands. With the costumes, dance, and music inspired by a different theme every parade, you would appreciate that preparation for Junkanoo literally take months and bring together men and women of all stratas of society. What is the sound of Bay Street, you ask? I will tell you. I will tell you the sounds of Bay Street. It starts with the intense drum beat of the goatskin drum, that baritone sensation that vibrates deep in your chest. Boom, 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 boom. Then there is the rocking of the cowbell, chiming in that clicking sound. Yes, that sound. Then the percussion instruments, whistles, scrapers, follows with the brass instruments colliding to bring a kaleidoscope of sound. This results in an instant tingling of rhythm that travels up your spine in anticipation of the sway, and the sway will come. What follows next is nothing short of miraculous, a masterpiece of sound blending together to create an infectious melody. This is Junkanoo. This is the sound of Bay Street. Come with me. Come and hear the sounds of Junkanoo. Come with me. Listen, Toastmasters, as you hear the sounds of Bay Street. Listen. Listen to the sounds of Bay Street. Toastmasters and guests, that was just a sneak peek of the sounds of Bay Street. This is Junkanoo. This is the sound of Bay Street, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster King. This is Bay Street. This is Junkanoo. Now, every culture and every country has things that are unique to them. And you've heard several themes, and I trust that you take note of them. One of them is Junkanoo. And Junkanoo is it goes back to our African roots, where we come together several times during the year. And during this time of the year, this is where we celebrate this festival with goatskin drums, horns, whistle, and bells. There is a whole lot of history behind it, but you can feel free, and I know someone will type it in the chat, Junkanoo. But all of you have been such a wonderful audience. We will give you a treat of that before the meeting ends. You also heard about us talk about our food. Yes, we love our stomach, and culturally, around the world, we are big on native cuisines. But we won't touch that so much because I know that your palates are ready to actually take in our next speaker's presentation. Coming now is our third and final speaker on this occasion. Our speaker for this afternoon is actually speaking on phase 5 in the Pathways Dynamic Leadership series. He also has an elective. His topic is Columbus House Mentorship Program. His time frame is 5 to 7 minutes. Now, again, this Toastmaster rank is above my own. Now, the previous speaker was my boss because she is an assistant superintendent of police, but this superintendent of police that's coming is both of our bosses. So I want him to know that we appreciate him coming to speak to us. Thank you so much. We love our sense of humor here in the Police Dynamic Enforcers Toastmasters Club. He is stationed on the island of Bimini, where he's the officer in charge of that island. And for any of you in the US or around the world who is not familiar with the island of Bimini, it is close to Florida, so close that depending on the weather, you can actually see the lights from the USA. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, please help me welcome our third and final speaker, Superintendent of Police and also a distinguished Toastmaster, Roston Morse.
Commissioner of Police, Mr. Anthony Ferguson, during the year 2018, launched a 7-point policing plan. Point number 3 refers to interaction with youths and young adults to heighten our community policing program and encourage divisional commanders to foster greater working relationships with schools, parents-teachers association meetings, and community groups. Mr. Chairman, fellow Toastmasters, and esteemed guests, good afternoon. As mentioned, I will speak to you on a philosophical topic this afternoon, Columbus House Mentorship Program. It all began on Wednesday, the 17th of October, 2018. Whilst assigned to Central Police Division, Grand Bahama District, I was instructed to go to Columbus House and speak with the administrator and ascertain how the officers from Central Police Division can become an integral part in the lives of the student residents. What is Columbus House? Columbus House was formed in 1997 to help care for children who needed to be removed from their families for reasons of abandonment, abuse, or neglect. Assignment number 1 was to liaise with the administrator, Columbus House. There I learned there were 5 boys and 3 girls at that residence. The ages 12 through 17 years. The reasons for them being there, the employee names, the hours of operation, the date the officers were able to go by and interact with them, and some of the topics of interest recommended by the administrator for us to use in our presentations. Assignment number 2 was to create a mentorship program. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, in summary, our motto was treat others as you wanted to be treated. Our objective, to create opportunities that will encourage all to achieve their full potential through crime prevention education, biblical principles that are needed to help steer the youths in the right direction and to bring about the most positive and godly outcome. Our values. We commit ourselves to avoid gossips and to handle all conflicts in accordance with the guidelines of Columbus House and the laws of the Bahamas. Our vision statement. We live in a world whereby we can preserve the past, celebrate the present, and move on to a more joyous future. Our mission statement. Officers from Central Police Station are committed to be consistent with our attendance, positive with our approach, and to be competent to attract and sustain attention. Our third assignment was to create a survey poll to conduct an orientation of the students. May I say to you, fellow Toastmasters and guests, there were 25 diverse questions compiled in this particular survey poll. Question number 25 reads, what subject matter you want me to talk about? Assignment number 4 was to conduct an orientation of the students. May I say to you that on the day of orientation, the survey poll was presented to each one of the students. Assignment number 5 was to conduct a review of the survey poll presented during orientation. And as was the focus, question number 25, what subject matter you want us to talk about? One student said, and I quote, tell us about life in the real world. Assignment number 6 was to prepare for the topic, life in the real world. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, at that point, I saw the need to talk about ambition. What is ambition? Ambition is defined as a strong feeling of wanting to be successful in life and to achieve great things, or believing in yourself even when no one else in the world does. Yes, so not only were we going to speak on the topic, ambition, but we look at the big idea. Speaking about the big idea, we look at persons who struggle at an early age in life, those who got a breakthrough in life, they became successful, and the rest is history. I speak about persons like Dave Thomas, the founder of Wendy's, Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft Computers, Muhammad Ali, the greatest boxer that ever walked the face of this earth, Bill Cosby, the entertainer, Martin Luther King Jr.,
Sam Walton, the founder of Walmart, Colonel Sanders, the founder of KFC, and the Wright brothers, who invented flying. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, each time we would have appeared and made one of these presentations, to those children, the expression on their faces depicted Christmas in the Bahamas. Then came assignment number 7, and that was to launch the program with members from the Royal Bahamas Police Force, as well as the Department of Social Services. On the 22nd of October 2018, our program was launched. Our program continued until September of 2019, when Hurricane Dorian came along and, of course, created that ruckus for us. In the interest of time, fellow Toastmasters and guests, what were some of the lessons I learned from the Columbus House Mentorship Program? Lesson number 1, you must always push things forward. Fellow Toastmasters, when we are talking about mentoring, this can be scary for instructors as well as those with seniority. But when you are willing to push things forward, it's all about that influx of ideas, that fresh ideas that can come from the mentees. Number 2, focus on the fundamentals. You can ask yourself the questions, as well as your mentees, what are some of the essentials of learning? What are some of the things that you needed in order to be successful? Once that is given or provided, you can articulate that in plain and simple English. Finally, the third thing I learned was to personalize your experience. Fellow Toastmasters, as a police officer by profession, a carpenter by trade, a fisherman by talent, a master of ceremonies by appointment, and by virtue of my second birth, praise God, I am a Christian. Whenever the opportunity presents itself for me to mentor someone, I try to incorporate all of my experiences. And may I say to you that each time I would have appeared and presented, I was consistent with my attendance, positive with my approach. I was able to attract and sustain attention. And the results, it is written. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, we are talking about Christmas in the Bahamas, but it's not just about the food. It's not just about the junkanoo, the music, the culture, but it's what we can do for those who are less fortunate among us. With that said, I rest. Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. There you have it, fellow Toastmasters and our guests from all around the world. You've heard from our 3 speakers. Before I bring on this Toastmaster who will actually introduce their team and give us some positive feedback, because that is what we do in Toastmasters. This is Christmas in the Bahamas, and I was told by I call them Toastmasters, but the peanut gallery that's in front of me, that we have to actually sing at least one Christmas song, at least one carol. Now, in the Bahamas, our climate is normally sunny. So we're going to step out of the Bahamas a little bit just for Jingle Bells. And we are going to dash through the snow, because we're going to imagine the snow, because we don't experience that. So for all of our Toastmasters around the world that's enjoying the cold weather, we welcome you down for some of the sunshine, but we will try it in any event. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle bells, all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. Oh, the place we go, laughing all the way. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Hey! Thank you so much. I had a memory lapse. I couldn't remember the latter part of the song. But the laugh fitted in, I think, pretty well. Thank you all so much. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, at this time, it gives me great pleasure. Thank you, chat monitors, for assisting me with this. To invite at this time our general evaluator to give us our positive feedback, please welcome at this time Toastmaster Derek Garcia Roll. Not Smith? Roll.
Thank you so very much, distinguished Toastmaster Burrows, for making that correction, giving me my name back. I appreciate you very much. Fellow Toastmasters, as stated earlier, I am Toastmaster Derek Garcia Roll, and I serve as the General Evaluator for today, this morning, and tonight. I am accompanied by a team of qualified individuals to evaluate this session today. We'll now start with the evaluation of our table topic session, which will be done by distinguished Toastmaster Bridget Strapp. Okay, it appears Toastmaster Strapp is not available to start right now. So why don't I go ahead and evaluate our great chairman for tonight. Distinguished Toastmaster Burrows, you served as the chairman for this evening's meeting. Your job was to be a congenial host, to keep the meeting flowing on time, and to introduce each meeting segment evenly. Distinguished Toastmaster Burrows, if I had not been a Bahamian and visited their club for the very first time, I would have felt right at home. You were warm, you were engaging, you were encouraging. You introduced and you talked about the various parts, and you talked about the persons coming to present. I want to thank you for your presentation today, and I look forward to that bubbly spirit that you possess the next time, again, you grace any lectern throughout the world of Toastmasters. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. We'll now call on the evaluation of our first prepared speaker, distinguished Toastmaster Charmaine Davis Goodman, which will be done by distinguished Toastmaster Andrew Albury.
Thank you, Mr. GE. If you enjoyed distinguished Toastmaster Goodman's presentation, let's give her a hand. Again, she is speaking from the presentation mastery, the second level, which is to develop skills on learning style. And the purpose this evening was to focus on our effective body language, whether it be intentional and or unintentional. Certainly, she would have given us the opportunity to see set in the opening. I thought the opening was very good. She had very good movement. Certainly, her vocal pace was nice, easy to follow. If we would have given any, watch your R's, if we would have given any suggestion in that area, certainly it would be that we want to encourage that you have a little bit more movement away from the lectern. I felt in the initial stage that your hand gestures were very good. However, distinguished Toastmaster Goodman, once you would have started to use your props, which I thought were very good props, but certainly you may want to limit the time use of your props so that it will allow for us to view yourself more, and we can actually see your body language. I thought the props kind of took away the effectiveness of the feeling your passion. We could hear it in your presentation, but we couldn't see it as much because I think the props are actually on the screen for almost a third of your time. Certainly, you had the opportunity, the title, certainly a season of celebration. All of us are familiar with celebration, so your topic was awesome. And it allowed for the use of the gestures. Certainly, I would have suggested maybe when we're talking about the church, I would show the prop and then maybe show your hands as in a prayer, so forth, that we can feel it. Certainly, as related to the food, I could smell the scrumptious food because all of us go through that. Maybe go through that scrumptious food and allows us to smell it. And then with the family, you got to held hands, something to allow us to see and demonstrate. Certainly with the Jokunu, I could feel the movement. I could just get the excitement, but we would have needed to see that. We heard it. However, we didn't see it. And what we would know from Toastmasters is that when you see something, the eyes give credibility. The eyes invoke passion. The eyes encourage people to come along. And certainly that would have been something that you had the possibility to utilize, particularly at that time. In closing, we certainly want to say thank you for an awesome presentation. We certainly want to encourage you in this area to not only show it, but tell it. And then when you tell it, then the use of the pause. And I thought you had many opportunities for that. Show your slide, tell your story, pause, allow us to digest and move on. So overall, it was a very good and very well organized and prepared presentation. Certainly want to encourage you to look forward to seeing you come back again. And hey, let's celebrate, because it's celebration time. Mr. G.
Thank you very much, Distinguished Toastmaster Albury, for your evaluation of Distinguished Toastmaster Goodman Davis. We'll now call for the evaluation of our table topic session, which will be done by Distinguished Toastmaster Bridget Strapp.
Thank you, this Toastmaster Derek Gould, Toastmaster Ryan Carroll, Toastmaster Ryan Carroll. A famous writer once penned, and I quote, "The greatest challenge in life is discovering who you are. The second greatest is being happy with what you find." To our coordinators, I am happy that you found and gave Toastmaster Ryan Carroll this opportunity to be our table topic master for this evening. Toastmaster Carroll, you did an excellent job. You certainly did not disappoint me. You approached the lectern with a boost of energy. You are very enthused as you stated your purpose with a great voice modulation. You are very clear. As you engage our audience, you ask very lighthearted questions, evenly throughout our virtual participation list, You asked about 10 to 11 questions, which captivated our Bahamian heritage, from naming some of our Bahamian dishes. You also asked one of our participants our famous song, "Who Let the Dogs Out?" To whom much is required, much is received. To whom much is given, much is required. The cancellation of our Christmas festival, Junkanoo. Do you think your vote matters? Toastmaster Carroll, you had great questions this evening. Toastmaster Carroll, I will not regurgitate all of your questions. However, I will share with you that you certainly picked the right persons to answer all of your questions. All of them were very descriptive in their respective ways. Toastmaster Carroll, you were I thoroughly enjoyed your session today, and I cannot wait to see you on anywhere, anytime, any place, any club, doing what you do best. Thank you for your service. Thank you, Toastmaster Carroll. Excellent job.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Strapp, for your evaluation of Toastmaster Carroll. We'll now have the evaluation of our second prepared speaker, Toastmaster Sharia, which will be done by Distinguished Toastmaster Hubert Edwards.
Thank you very much, Mr. General Evaluator, Toastmaster Garcia Roll. Toastmaster Sharia King, Sounds of Bay Street. Your requirement was to connect with the audience, an unfamiliar audience, speaking from the Dynamic Leadership Pathway Level 3 elective. Toastmaster Sharia King, you came to the podium and your opening was fantastic. It was with high energy. You started with a bang, and you started in a way we knew immediately that we were going to get a story from you. We were going to be entertained. Your clarity was superlative. You were very, very, very clear in terms of your voice modulation. And one of the things which stood out to me was your use of gestures. You pointed to your head, you waved, we could actually follow you. When there was music, you were talking about the music, you use your hand to convey and conjure up the essence of that. And so that was very good, very informative. You were presenting to an unfamiliar audience for the most part, and you gave historical historical facts. You took them through in a very light-hearted way, not too deep, but there was great information, and you showed the story. I like one of the terms that you use, or at least one of the lines that you use, is say, I will tell you the sounds of Bay Street. If that missed anyone, it's important to listen very carefully. I will tell you the sounds of Bay Street. And you use your props, you use the cowbell, and that went very well. I think overall you excel at using your voice modulation and being good at storytelling. I think that you may want to focus in terms of improving on the use of your era. In terms, you were a little bit too married to the podium. This was a presentation of high volume, and you could have stepped away a little bit, give us a little bit of a Bay Street shake here or there, so that persons would better enjoy that. I would want to encourage you to always be mindful that in this era of technology, things will fail. And one of the things that you may have wanted to do is to be ready to deliver. So when the sound didn't come up, you should have been saying, Bay Street goes boom, 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 boom. But overall, you had a very, very good presentation. It was dynamic, and I look forward to seeing you at the podium many, many more times. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you. Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Hubert Edwards, on your evaluation. We'll now call for the evaluation of our third and final prepared speaker, distinguished Toastmaster Roston Moss, which will be done by distinguished Toastmaster Dorette Keene.
To whom much is given, much is required. Distinguished Toastmaster Moss, there's no question about your accomplishment and all that have been sown in your life based on your current and future, I would assume, accomplishments. With that being said, Columbus House Mentorship Program for Youth, how ideal of a subject for you to present to us, even in an environment where we're talking about Christmas in the Bahamas. Many would allude to speaking about the joy, the enjoyment, the food, etc., which is great. But how about the impact that can be made in the Bahamas, even in a festive time? I love your choice of subject today. How can we influence our youth? Often we think that the youths are the future. However, I differ to say the youths are our present, and investing in them is a great choice. I love your choice of subject today. Let's take a look at a few other things that you did very well. You spoke about the vision of Columbus House Mentorship Program, its goals. Many of us are not familiar with the program, but by you sharing the vision, outlining the mission, sharing different methods of surveys that you have done with this program in order for its effectiveness was very helpful for us to get to understand what this youth program is all about. Well done. Vocal variety, you had that covered, captured your audience as you raised your voice up and down and captured us in as you made your presentation. Let's take a look at a few areas, opportunities for improvement. I love the fact that you shared about the youth and the program. I would have loved to see more joy in your expression as you talk about the passion that you have for working with the youths. We know that youth can be joyful. I want to see that joy coming out of you as you talk about impacting them. Give us an example of a youth and the difference that it has made in that particular youth's life, how the program has been exemplary for them. And in conclusion, what are the methods that you use to capture discussions with those youths? Because sometimes they can be very quiet. Overall, awesome presentation, great topic to speak on. And next time, I look forward to those passion and expressions in your voice. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Keene, and to all of our evaluators so far. I would just like to say that you give great recommendations. You talked about the things that you liked about each speaker, and you gave a conclusion. So I want to say thank you. You would have given those each person on the program so far a nugget to take away, that what was good and what I can improve upon to become even greater as I rise. Thank you very much. We'll now call for our Countess report, followed by the grammarian's report.
Thank you. So thank you. The report is as follows. Toastmaster L. Robert Knowles, 2 R's. Here ends the counter report.
Thank you, Toastmaster Paul. Toastmaster Paul, with a room filled with Toastmasters from across the world, I would have encouraged you to even look into the chat to see who might have used the R or or who might have had a pause filler in their conversation and their deliberation, because our chat is also an extension of our meeting as well. So just to pay those kind of attention. And if you are a club or in a club that collects 25 cents or 10 cents for every R or you would have the treasurer scratching his or her head. But thank you for the delivery of your Countess report. Thank you very much. Now our grammarian's report, which will be done by Toastmaster L. Robert Knowles.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. I concur with your statements. As grammarian, again, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language use. I also take a note of improper language as well as any outstanding words, quotes, saying, or thoughts. With my report is as follows. We've had some colloquial terms used, and one of them I would like to point out by distinguished Toastmaster Charmaine Goodman Davis, niggeritis. Yes, niggeritis, I love your colloquial term, and I encourage you, if you would like to utilize that word to utilize it, because it is Bahamas. Going on to the infractions, distinguished Toastmaster Leonardo Burrows, what was said, please welcome with our table topics. What should have been said, please welcome our table topics, Master. Distinguished Toastmaster Burrows, again, what was said, Toastmaster Derek Smith, what should have been said, Toastmaster Derek Road. Toastmaster Ryan McPhee, what was said, our famous Bahaman, what should have been said, our famous Bahaman. Toastmaster McPhee, give her Jess 3 seconds, 3 minutes. What should have been said, give her 3 seconds. Toastmaster McPhee, what was said, Mr. Table Chair, what should have been said, Mr. Chairman. Distinguished Toastmaster Charmaine Goodman Davis, what was said, little bit of it, what should have been said, a little of it. Distinguished Toastmaster Bridget Strapp, what was said, Toastmaster Ryan Carroll, what should have been said, Toastmaster Ryan McPhee. This ends my report. And as I would encourage you before, I encourage you to utilize the word of the day, which was follow. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Robert Knowles. Toastmaster Robert Knowles, I want to thank you for your detailed grammarian's report. And one of the things we know is that as a grammarian, you pay close attention. So serving as a grammarian, it helps to hone your listening skills for what is being said and what is not being said. So I want to thank you for that grammarian's report. I would also like to share two nuggets with you. The first one is when you are recognize that any role that you play within the Toastmasters program, you are on stage. This is a performance. So when technicalities happen, our screens don't work, we have to be ready to pivot to the next step so that it flows and that there isn't any hang up. So if you have any technical difficulties, know that you could rush right to the chat, type in your word of today, and just let it flow with all of your information and operate as if though you weren't even dependent solely on that technology. Last but not least, to deliver your report as if though you were on Broadway, whereas not rehearsed or feeling your way through it, so that we could feel what it is that you were trying to deliver. Use every opportunity, almost as if though it is an impromptu speech or a prepared speech for your performance. Once again, thank you for your overall presentation as grammarian today. Thank you very much. Before I call for the timers report, I'll just like to give a general overview of the meeting. I think that this and whomever thought about this deserves all the gifts that Santa can bring this year. This is a stellar venture, and it is no doubt bringing Toastmasters from across the globe into one meeting space. Who would have thought 9 months ago, when we were forced into lockdown, that we would have emerged in such an arena like this? So thank you to the organizers. I think everyone did a stellar job. One word of encouragement for those of us who aren't so familiar with this virtual platform. Our little box is very important, and how we fit into that box is very important. Ensure that you are positioned so you can be clearly seen anytime that you are to speak. And for those of us who are to speak, we should always be prepared to turn on our cameras so persons can see us and feel us and not just hear us. Overall, stellar meeting. And now I'll call for our timers report by Distinguished Toastmaster Price Polonese.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. For our speakers, Distinguished Toastmaster Davis spoke for 6 minutes and 30 seconds. Distinguished Toastmaster King spoke for 5 minutes and 52 seconds. Distinguished Toastmaster Mars spoke for 7 minutes and 21 seconds. For our evaluation session, Distinguished Toastmaster Aubrey spoke for 3 minutes and 11 seconds. And Distinguished Toastmaster Edwards spoke for 2 minutes and 37 seconds. And Distinguished Toastmaster Keene spoke for 2 minutes and 39 seconds. Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Distinguished Toastmaster Polonese, and I thank you for your service. I now yield this lectern back to our chairman, Distinguished Toastmaster Leonardo Burrows.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Generally Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. Thank you so much for participating and enjoying our meetings thus far. You will find in the chat a poll so that you can help us select our speaker and evaluator of the day. And before we get to entertain a bit of remarks from our friends who are gathered from around the world, I would just like to treat you to one more video, Bahamian music. So our Zoom coordinator, please assist us with Bahamian music, just a short taste, about 1 minute. 1 minute, as you take this opportunity to fill out your selection for our speaker and evaluator of the meeting. Out your boards, you can feel free to just clap along with us or just move a little bit of shoulder action. Just a nod in the head a little bit. All right, 20 more seconds. I know your hearts are beating. All right, 15 more seconds. And that was the fastest 15 seconds ever. Thank you so much. Now that we're getting our poll ready, I just want to entertain some remarks. But before we do that, District 47 is a wonderful district, and we have a few of our division directors here with us, and one of them is serving as our Zoom master. And so please bring greetings on behalf of your division, Distinguished Toastmaster Verna Bonamy.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Chair, for that. It's my pleasure on behalf of Division I here in the Bahamas to be here with you today. This is and has been an excellent experience, and I do look forward to seeing this again next year, God willing. Even if we've gone back to regular meetings, this is an ideal opportunity for Toastmasters come from all around the world to fellowship with each other, to share our traditions, to share the cultures of our different countries. And this, I look forward to this being the first annual one, Mr. Toastmaster, that came up with this wonderful idea. Thank you very much. And again, my pleasure to be here. Back to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. And her division is in the Bahamas, but our timer is also a division director. Price, Polonies, Distinguished Toastmaster, please bring greetings from your division.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm bringing greetings for Division A, District 47 here in South Florida, sunny South Florida. It was a great experience being part of this event. As well, I would like to have this event every year. It was great getting everybody from all over the world in the 24-hour period to lock hands, hold hands, all Toastmasters. That was very exciting. Bringing in some Jacunu from the Bahamas. That was exciting. The music, the band, that got me in the groove here. I wish next year we can do this live out when everybody can basically get together. That will be amazing. And I'm looking forward to next year. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. And to some of our guests, we just want to hear you bring greetings and say hello. You can feel free at this time. You can unmute yourself. I'm looking. Let's see. Anyone would like to say hello? We want to hear from you. How did you enjoy this experience? Diane, I saw you leaning. Diana, I saw you leaning forward. Does that mean you want to say something to us?
I just want to congratulate everyone in the Bahamas for doing such a fantastic meeting.
Thank you.
Hello.
You can go ahead.
This is District 51 from Malaysia. Thoroughly enjoyed your hospitality. Thank you.
Thank you, Malaysia. Anyone else?
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. So much fun. I enjoyed everything that you presented. I am almost convinced that your Jonkuno is better than ours in Jamaica. It was awesome. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Thank you so much. Jamaica in the house. Yeah, man. Further comments at this time?
Sure, I'd like to put a comment in. Todd
Thank
from
you.
Montreal, Canada. So I've had an opportunity to visit a couple of the different Caribbean festivals here in Montreal, Canada, and around the world in Barbados, Jamaica, and such. I haven't done the one in the Bahamas, but you know, it's going to be on my bucket list next.
Yes. Thank you very much. Further comments? 2 more minutes. Anyone else?
Yeah.
I see you. You can go ahead, Cole.
Yeah. Thank you for putting this together, this great meeting. Really enjoyed the speakers, plus the videos and music really added to it. So it's great to see. Hope to visit your club again.
Thank you so much. And those of you who are interested in visiting our club, please, you can put your emails in the chat. One of our executives will send our emails and we will send you the information as it relates to our Zoom link. Thank you so much. All right, 3 more. I have time for 3 more comments. Anyone else?
Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Dorette.
Yes, it has been a delight being here with each and every one from all over the world. I am just trying to figure out how I could possibly get some of that delicious meal that I hear is prepared during Christmas time in the Bahamas, shipped to me in the US. So I'm going to be hoping that someone will make some arrangements to get some of that food over to me in the US. Wonderful event, love the idea, and I look forward to joining the next. Great job.
Thank you so much. And I see someone wanted me to do a little bit more dancing. My district knows that I love to dance, but I'm behaving today because we have guests in our home. Thank you so much. Two more comments at this time.
Y'all are crazy.
I know.
But I love it. I absolutely love it. We need that right now. So this is Yolanda. I am from the great District 56 here in Texas, one of the craziest countries here in the country. Sorry, one of the greatest states here in the country. And I just want to say I love to attend a meeting where there is joy, laughter, fun, and craziness. We need more of that in the world today. So thank you for bringing that around the world. This has been absolutely fun to attend. It took everything in me not to get up and dance every time there was music. So thank you guys. Bring more of that. Bring more of that out.
Thank you so much. And one more, just one more at this time.
Greetings, everyone. This is Jennifer bringing you greetings from District 36, USA. I must say that I thoroughly enjoyed this particular meeting because I'm a native of Trinidad and Tobago. So when you talked about the way you celebrate and you talked about the carnival and oh boy, goodness. It reminded me of home and you just took me back there. So I thoroughly enjoy it. I would love to visit your club again, but I can tell you we are contenders as the greatest show on earth, Trinidad and Tobago. Awesome.
Our good Toastmaster has the mic, so she's in charge. So she wins. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
I know you said you only need to hear from one more, but
Okay,
I
you
have
go
to
ahead.
tell you that I agree with all of the positive comments. There's only one thing that could have made this meeting better, and that's if we had all been together sharing food from our different cultures.
Yes.
I study and teach ethnicity around the world, and it's a wonderful, wonderful way to connect in your heart and spirit. So I wish you all happy holidays and happy eating.
Thank you so much. And for the moment that you've all been waiting for, it's time to find out who our speaker and evaluator of the evening is. And we have the privilege of our area director being a member of the Police Dynamic Enforcers Club. Toastmaster Paul.
Woo! Yes! Thank you very much, Mr. Tabletop, Mr. President, Mr. Chairman, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
No, this one here now.
And the winners are, for Evaluator of the Night, all the way from the sunny Isles of Bahamas to the USA, distinguished Toastmaster Derek King. Congratulations! You have won Evaluator of the Night. All right, Santa, are you ready for the next one? And now, for Speaker of the Night, drum roll, please. It is none other than PBE's very own Toastmaster Sharia King. For visiting us here at the Police Dynamic Enforcers, and I hope that you thoroughly enjoy our speakers and evaluators. To you.
Thank you very much. And as we wrap up today's meeting, distinguished Toastmaster Bonamy, I would just like for us to take a quick photo, if you will. How many slides is that? About 5 or 6? As we get ready to hand and pass this gavel. So if everyone can turn their cameras on, if you can, and give us some good smiles, and Toastmasters are in the room as we get ready to hand over. That's right. All right, everyone's ready? You're gonna hide me though. Thank you. All right. Please tell me when we're done. All right, we're good?
We're good.
Awesome. Don't move yet, Tim. So on behalf of all of us in the Bahamas, the sunny isles of the Bahamas, it gives us great pleasure. And I know Vancouver is geared up, excited and ready to go. Vancouver.
Canada.
We came out of Brazil and now we are going to Vancouver, leaving sunshine for a little bit of cold. It has been our pleasure serving you and bringing a lot of life to this experience as we would have traveled around the world to enjoy other cultures. And now in fine Toastmaster spirit, we have learned if it's not fun, it is definitely not Toastmaster. And before we go and pass this gavel on to Vancouver, we pass this to Toastmaster Marilee Miller from the Advanced Speakers Club, 4589, Vancouver, Canada. And it is still better in the Bahamas. Have a great day, everyone.